Well, hello and welcome to the J. Sterling Hughes Show, where we share the secrets of how we are building a rapidly growing law practice. Over the last 9 years, we have grown from 0 attorneys to over 25 and doing over $15 million in revenue. And my purpose is to document what's working and what's not working in our practice with hopes that you can take that, you can recontextualize that to your practice and shorten your success curve. My name is Jeff Hughes, and I'm your host, and over the next 4 shows, I'm going to be unpacking how our firm has converted from hourly rate billing to fixed fee billing across the entire firm, 100% of our cases. So it can be done very well, and I'm going to share everything that we have learned over the past 7 years and some very hard lessons that we have had to learn that have taken a toll on us in many different ways, and I'm hopeful that you can take those learnings that we've had and use them for your benefit and for your clients' benefit in your firm. So here's how I'm breaking up the next 4 shows. First, I just want to talk in this one about the context that we found ourselves in as a firm and some of the arguments for hourly billing and some of the arguments for fixed fee billing to give us our overall context with which to operate from over the ensuing 3 shows. So let's go back to 2015. We were concluding the year, and it was our first 18 months in practice. And from the outside, it looked great. We at that point had grown from 0 to 8 attorneys, and it was a good ego sort of boost for me and for my partner, but we did not feel good on the inside. We felt like we were just a mediocre, poor performing, very scattered law firm, and we did not like where we were going. We wanted to be regarded as excellent in our practice, and we weren't. We weren't very good, honestly. We had some client complaints that were piling up. We had some real issues with executing and performance, and we did not like where we were going, and we felt like we needed to do something pretty significant. So I had been following a thought leader at that time named Lee Rosen, and I reached out to him and said, "Hey, Lee, I would love to come spend some time with you and just sit at your feet and hear how you have built an amazing practice in your world." And so he quoted a significant fee that was a definite swallow time in order for for us to come meet with him for an entire day. And so he invited us down to South Beach in Florida, and we met in one of those all-day conference places that you pay by the day. And we just drilled him with questions, dozens and hundreds of questions that we had written out and prepared prior to going to meeting with him. And what he shared with us was mind-blowing. And it took us, months and years to implement all of the great quality content that he gave us. But the one that made the most difference that we tackled right away was converting our firm from hourly to fixed fee and converting it from being a serve everybody practice to focusing on what we were really good at and what we knew that we could be excellent at, that would give our career's meaning worth pursuing the rest of our career, and that was family law. So that was in December of 2015, and we came back and we shared our vision with the team of, look, we're going to convert to family law, we're going to convert to fixed fee, and we're going to do a bunch of other things outside of that. And I can tell you that it was tough for our attorneys to get their heads around that. And it was also tough from a standpoint as we knew we had to shrink our firm we had to take a big step back to go forward. So we essentially cut our firm almost in half from a standpoint of clients and attorneys leaving the firm and going off and doing something else so we could focus our main thrust around family law and converting to fixed fee. And that was in December and January from 15 to 16. And by February 1st, all new clients coming in the door were going to be fixed fee clients. And so we started executing on that. By August of that year, 100% of our clients were fixed fee because we converted them over. And it took us, fast forward from then until today, 7 years of very difficult learnings and mistakes and getting just completely crushed on some cases to get where we are today. So I'm going to compact all of those learnings into a couple podcasts to share with you how we did it. Hopefully you can take those lessons and not have to repeat them and take the value and do amazing things for yourself and for your clients as you implement fixed fee into your practice. So, all right, here we go. Now, one of the areas I think it's best to start is pointing out and acknowledging the benefits or the arguments in favor of doing hourly. And doing the same thing for fixed fee, because I think having a good solid base and a contrast between those two competing ideologies and business philosophies, I think would help us a lot. So my problem with hourly is a business problem. It's not a ethical problem for sure. So, don't hear anything that smacks and sounds like that. When I'm talking about fixed fee versus hourly, I'm certainly in favor of fixed fee. I think the business case for that is airtight, but there are some really positives around hourly. So let me just highlight those and point those out. First off, and let me start with the most important one. Okay, this is the biggest reason why the majority of law firms do hourly versus fixed fee, and that is this. Partners like it. It's easy to understand for them and for their entire team. It's easier for their clients to understand. And so there's this massive inertia built up around hourly. And it's built up around the partners, the owners of these law firms supporting this methodology. And it's very predictable from a standpoint of how you can predict your finances and the growth of the firm. So it's easy to understand selling units of time in return for a specific dollar amount. So that's all well and good. Okay, that's reason number one. Reason number two is that the risk of doing hourly, or the risk is shifted to the client. So the clients bear all of the risk around it. So lawyers don't have to bear risk. That's a great thing from a lawyer perspective. They don't have to take on the risk of the case going sideways, the client being hyper needy and needing more time and attention, or opposing counsel doing something goofy that you have to respond to, or even opposing party doing something wild that it takes a whole lot of work to protect and defend your client on that. So that's all part of that. All right. Third reason is that cases are so unpredictable that hourly protects against that. So when cases go sideways, and you all have been a part of those cases, right, where you expect it to take 6 months and it takes 3 years to finish, right? Those things just go nutso and go in a different direction. You could have a judge that moves off the case, a new one comes in, you got to start all over again. Same thing with opposing party. You've been there, right? So you can think of all of those examples where cases go sideways and just frankly take a whole lot more time than you expected, than you maybe even initially prepared your client for. So those are out there. So finally, in the consult room, this is probably the most important engagement with that client thus far, is in that consult room. It's easy for clients to understand hourly. They've all been a part of an hourly experience somewhere. Either they got paid by the hour for a job, they've paid another attorney for work that's been done, and that was by the hour. So everyone really understands trading time for money. So it's an easy to sell. It's an easy way to explain value of what you're going to do for your client. So those are not all there, but those are the main arguments in favor of hourly. A couple things I want to point out about this, and I've observed this, is that we as lawyers have a government-sanctioned cartel. The government prevents other people from competing with us that haven't gone to law school, haven't taken the bar exam, and been sworn into a bar. Yet, despite that, what I've seen in people law is that so many lawyers struggle with making money. That's the reality of it. The reality is that people lawyers in particular, not the B2B firms, but the B2C firms, the people law lawyers, they struggle by and large with making money. And I think that hourly is a big culprit for that, because it doesn't allow them to create value beyond their time for their client. There's a lot of ways you can create extra value for clients, but hourly constricts that. It takes away the imagination to be able to do that, even the incentive to do that. So that's a real big problem I've got with that, with hourly. So let me shift the conversation to fixed fee. Okay, so these are the arguments in favor of fixed fee. And I'm going to start with my favorite one right in the beginning. Okay, this I think is the clincher, and for no other reason. I think for this reason alone, every firm should convert to fixed fee, and that is this: the clients love it. Yes, the clients love fixed fee. It gives them certainty during a period of vast uncertainty in their life, and if for no other reason, then you want to provide good service and a good experience to the client. Give them what they want. They will pay you for that if you do that. Trust me, It works. They want it. It's good service. It's good lawyering. It's good compassion. It's good caring for clients, giving them that experience of having fixed fee and that certainty that comes along with that. So, all right. But if that's not enough, there's some really good business reasons why your firm should consider converting over to fixed fee from hourly. And that is this. Fixed fee protects the client. So it shifts the risk from the client to the lawyer. So when that risk shifts, you can charge for that. You've created value for that client. Value versus the hourly person. With the hourly lawyer, the client has all the risk. If the case goes sideways, if the lawyer is unscrupulous, whatever the case is, the client has to pay for that. All right? But when it shifts from the client to the lawyer, you've now created new value that you can go out and charge for. Okay, that's the business case for that part of it there. Another thing, fixed fee aligns the incentives between the client and the lawyer. So what I've seen is that when clients come to see us, and I've done hundreds and hundreds of consults, and it's always the same. Clients have a hard time articulating this, but at their base, what they want, they'll talk about property, they'll talk about children, and those are all vitally important, of course, especially concerning the children. But more than anything, they want to be out of the court system. They want to be out of that with a fair resolution. If they want to have that case over and they want to move forward with their lives, helping them get there quickly is in your benefit and on the client's benefit. And whenever you can do that and line your incentive up to be paid by the job versus paid by the hour, when you can align those desires up and those incentives up, because now you want the case over with, because that's when you'll get paid, or at least you'll be able to ethically collect that money, then align those incentives and great things happen from there on out. So when our firm converted to fixed fee, it changed every single thing across our entire firm. Okay. And one of them that made the biggest impact here was aligning our incentives, because now everything we did and built toward aligned that incentive to get the matter over with, which lined up perfectly with what the client wanted as well. Also, another big benefit of fixed fee is that communication is significantly improved. And this is the one that really resonates the most with clients as we talk about the value of fixed fee, is that whenever you're an hourly lawyer, every time that client reaches out to you, text message, emailing, calls, or whatever, okay, you can charge them for that. Clients know this. And so over time, they just don't like that. They don't want to be charged every time they reach out to the client. So what do? They just don't communicate as much. And when you don't have as much communication, your ability to represent, advocate for that client diminishes. And so if clients feel they have open door access to you and to your team, what's surprising is they by and large, don't take advantage of that any more than they did in an hourly context, or than they would in an hourly context. But it's knowing that it makes them feel so much better to know they can reach out and contact you anytime, even with the smallest trivial detail. They can let you know about that and know they're not going to be charged for that information and sharing that with you. So communication opening up is a real big deal. Another thing here is that when you are paid by the job, you now have an incentive to be efficient and create systems and processes and teams around you that are more efficient than you doing all the work yourself, or you and your paralegal doing the work yourself. And the ripple effects of having an incentive to be efficient are enormous. And creating that incentive within the firm for everyone to be efficient, you can create a lot more productivity for the same amount of input. So that's another huge one. Another one that we found is that the tracking is so much easier. That's obvious. I don't know the latest numbers out there. I've read the Clio reports that tell you that, you only actually record 70% of your time, and then you collect, 75% of whatever you bill. I don't know what all that is, but we all know that there's a big amount of time that lawyers actually perform work that they could bill for in an hourly context that they don't record properly. They don't write it down. I know some attorneys don't even do their time until the end of the month. It's also very common for lawyers not even to send a bill out every single month. Those are all just bad business practices that, you got to maybe fix that first. But tracking your time and tracking all that basically goes away. And the the impact on your team from a collection standpoint goes down significantly. So you lose all of this extra burnt energy and bureaucracy within your firm because now you're paid, you're billing by the job rather than by the hour, and it's so much easier to track all of that. So that's another big one. So I could go on with more, okay, and I will do that over the next 3 episodes as we walk through this together, and I hope that this is adding value to you. I can't wait to tell you about how we do it, how we sell it, and how we serve clients, and what they tell us back, what they like about that. So that's it for today. So have a great week.